Hey everybody. My pan's getting smoking hot here. We are going to make some beef and gnocchi stoup. It's between a soup and a stew. So I have chuck roast here that I have cut into strips. You can cube it, whatever you like. And obviously I have a really hot pan, so hopefully I'm not screaming in your ear, trying to make sure you can hear me. So I have about 1.5 pounds of chuck roast. You can use any beef you like. And we're going to brown it off really good. And then I have 1 carrot. You can use 2, we're just not carrot people. 2 celery stalks and 1 onion already chopped up. I cubed the carrot and I sliced the celery. You'll want 2 cloves of garlic minced. And that's pretty much your prep. And then a package of gnocchi. And they have a dollar section at our grocery store that has the gnocchi, so you can find it relatively cheap, and it is shelf stable, so I keep it in the pantry like you would pasta. So I'm going to add salt and pepper. You'll need Worcestershire, beef broth, paprika, bay leaf, tomato paste, and that's it for your seasonings. And salt and pepper to your taste. If you're using a salty beef broth like a Knorr or your bouillon cubes or something like that, you can hold off on the salt until you can taste it, because that has sodium. So I'm going to let this brown off, and then I'll be back when it's browned. When it's browned, we'll remove it from the pan and add our vegetables. Okay, we're going to take our meat out. Into the same oil, if you need to add more you can. I'm going to add the vegetables. And we're just going to soften these up. Once they start to soften, we'll add our garlic. I'm using my already chopped up garlic, but you can chop up fresh garlic if you don't have any of that. You can use dried garlic, garlic powder, whatever you have. Oh, and I forgot to mention thyme. So, oh, that's turmeric. I need to get thyme. Well, I have some somewhere. So you'll want a teaspoon of thyme. Wonder where mine is. So when you see those softening up, you'll add your thyme, paprika, garlic, and I'll find mine and add it. It's probably right in front of my face. A teaspoon of paprika. I have to open my tomato paste. I'm going to try for the thyme one more time. That doesn't even sound right. Okay, found some thyme. It's a powder, so I'm going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon. Thyme. garlic. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Tomato paste always tastes better if you give it a minute in a skillet or a pot before you add anything, liquid. Galloping Gourmet, was that his name? When his wife had a heart attack, that was one of his tricks to adding that mouthfeel without adding oil. Tomato paste. Add a tablespoon of Worcester. Don't inhale. Okay, now I'm going to add 4 cups beef broth. This is my home canned broth. Going to add my meat back. Two cups of water, and you'll be using a cup of water at the end to thicken your soup. You're going to add a bay leaf. We're going to bring it up to a bubble and then turn it down and let it simmer until your meat is tender. So there we go. And if you need to add more broth or anything, you can. You can make it as thin or thick as you like. So we're just going to let this cook now. I'm going to put all my accoutrements away. So I will see you when we move on to adding the gnocchi and thickening it up and adding parsley. That'll be our last seasoning. Okay, this is how we're looking. Let's see. That helps. I took the bay leaf out. See the consistency. See that? So that's what it looks like. I don't think the meat is quite at that, you know, bite right into. No. So I'm going to continue to let this cook. I did add some of this for flavor and salt. And then I added a little bit of regular salt and pepper. I will probably add a little more broth. We'll see where we're at when I add the gnocchi. I don't want it to be too thick, but you can do it any way you like your stoup. And this could totally be a pantry meal. Use your canned meat, your canned beef chunks, your store-bought canned beef, beef broth, the tomato, your canned, freeze-dried, dehydrated, or fresh carrot. Same with any of the other vegetables here, the celery, the garlic, the onion. So this could be completely pantry, and I would just do the broth. If you're using raw onion, I'd do that, or celery, do that first part, and then I would let the broth simmer with the bay leaf and stuff, and then add all your veggies. That way everything's not too soft. And totally do a proper pantry meal out of this. Easy peasy. The gnocchi is shelf stable. I've got a migraine hangover. Do you guys know what those are? So, kicked my butt for a few days on the right side of my head. So let's see where we're at with flavor. Can you hear the washer? Tastes really good. So you can adjust the seasonings to your liking. I'm gonna let this simmer until the meat is tender, and then we will add the gnocchi. Okay, so here's our gnocchi. This is just potato gnocchi. And we are gonna just drop these in, break them up. Putting in about half the package, and then the other half I'll make like a side dish of gnocchi and a butter sauce with sage or something. You can do as much as you want. If you don't have gnocchi or you can't find it, you can use make some dumplings. You can use some canned biscuits and cut them into pieces. If you have the flaky biscuits, peel them apart and then cut them into strips. All kinds of stuff you could do. You could add some pasta to this. And like I said, this is totally a prepper pantry meal. If you're using all your dehydrated or freeze-dried stuff, you can just throw it all in the crock pot. Just add extra broth for expansion of your veggies. The rehydration. So we're just going to let that cook until those are ready. And then I have 1 cup of broth with a tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm going to add about half of that. You could use a flour slurry if you want. I have non-GMO cornstarch, so that is out there. Cornstarch is gluten-free. So for your gluten people, you can leave the meat out and just do the gnocchi vegetable soup. Gnocchi is vegan. So you can always customize a recipe to your dietary liking, allowance, etc. So I'm going to let those cook and I'll show it to you when we dip it up. Oh, I forgot the parsley. Teaspoon of parsley or so. If you have fresh, use fresh. I grew some, but the monarchs laid their eggs on there they laid their eggs on there, and then the caterpillars ate the parsley, and then they turned into cocoons. So they got the parsley, but that's okay. We need the butterflies. Okay, just gonna let that do its thing. Okay, so we are ready. There it is. All the gnocchi went to the bottom. So there we go, guys. Made some garlic bread out of the rest of the Texas toast. And there's our dinner. It's rich. I didn't use the all of the thickener. I think it's thick enough. It's pretty nice. So yeah, we're going to eat dinner. I hope you all are well. I fought a migraine for about 3 days, so I'm better. I just have the migraine hangover where you're scared, is it gonna come back? So yeah, try this. It's hearty, it's rich, it's beefy. And if you have any questions, let me know. Share some of your soup ideas. I do have everything for the hot and sour soup, so I'm gonna get on that. I just don't want to make it when I don't have something to feed my husband. So I'll do it when that's what'll be my dinner. So stay safe, stay healthy, stay warm, and I will see you all in the next video.